Ben Shapiro has given us a lay epic Ben Shapiro moment that I'm very excited to share with you. So I'll let him speak for himself, and then we'll go ahead and react to it in real time.
But the real campaign issue in Pennsylvania, according to everybody, is Dr. Mehmet Oz is an elitist. He's an elitist. And we know that if you earn money in the United States, this makes you unqualified for office.
I love how he dodges the substance of the Fetterman criticism that Oz is an elitist. The argument is, hey, this guy isn't even from Pennsylvania, he's from New Jersey. So he's literally not one of you, the voters. He's also super wealthy and elitist, and his policy proposals don't help working people. Look, it's one thing if he was massively wealthy, but he came out and said, raise my taxes. These people need healthcare. They need a good education. They need money. Raise my taxes, cut their taxes. If he said that, we wouldn't be giving him shit. FDR came from a wealthy family, but he was viewed as a quote-unquote traitor to his class. That's how he was viewed. And so nobody gave him shit for the fact that he came from a wealthy family, because he said, look, we need to do something about this generational wealth, and we need to give everybody a fair shot. So Oz is wealthy, out of touch, and he doesn't want to help working people. That's the argument. It's not like, ugh. And by the way, I'm sure Ben Shapiro has called Democratic politicians an elitist, full stop, and used that to go after them. But now if it's targeted at one of his beloved Republicans, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's a silly criticism. God, I know he likes to pretend like he's the world's greatest intellectual, but really, when it boils down to it, he is nothing but a partisan hack. Anybody who's familiar with my show knows there are times I vociferously go after Democratic politicians when they're wrong, and they deserve it. And the difference is I'm not a hack, and I'm willing to do that. I don't know of any time that he hasn't. I don't know of any time that he's gone after a Republican full stop. Like, just as a matter of principle, hey, they're wrong about this, this, and this, and let's just talk about that. There's always qualifiers. There's always, oh my God, but the Democrats are way worse, and let's spend most of our time on that. It's what he does. It's all he is. He's a rank tribalist, and everybody knows it. You could see right through it, but this argument's about to get a lot worse, too.
So, sure, the original founders of the country tended to be overwhelmingly wealthy men, because, again, the idea here is that if you don't want people in politics who are demagogues, then it's good for them to have an outside source of income. You want to cut down on corruption? It's good for people to be independently wealthy before they are in office. It's not a bad.
He's saying if you're rich, you're uncorruptible. Or at the very least, it's harder to corrupt you. Well, Ben, right now, 2 out of 3 senators are millionaires. The median income of somebody in Congress is $1 million. They are... Think about that. If roughly 50% of Congress are millionaires, think of how overrepresented wealthy people are in Congress. Because what is it, like 1% of the country or thereabouts are millionaires, but about 50% of Congress are millionaires? So, look, we have the system that you say would lead to less corruption, and we have the most corruption imaginable. And by the way, Ben Shapiro supports the Supreme Court decisions, which brings us that corruption. There were a number of Supreme Court cases from the 1970s, late 1970s and onward. It was Buckley versus Vallejo in 1978, and then you had Bellotti after that, and then, of course, you had Citizens United, which was relatively recently, and McCutcheon as well, which was recently. Those Supreme Court decisions said money equals free speech, so if a rich person or a corporation or a billionaire can spend however much money as they want on politics, and there's nothing we can do about that, that's their right to do that. Now, stop and think about that. If money equals speech, well, then the richest people have the loudest voices in the system, and so they will get their way more often. Ben Shapiro supports those Supreme Court decisions. But look, if he was correct, then we have a very, very wealthy Congress or House and Senate, so we wouldn't be corrupt. But we are massively corrupt. So his point, how do I put this, is wrong, is dumb, is idiotic, is disproven by the very world we live in if you look at the empirical evidence.
Bad thing. It gives you the ability to say things that are actually on your mind because you have less to lose. This is why, biblically speaking, most of the prophets were actually kind of wealthy.
What? Is that even true? First of all, even if that is true, which I don't know if it's true, Was Jesus wealthy? You know, the main guy in the story who's supposed to be like the most important one? What about him? Was he wealthy?
Because if you're wealthy, you don't have much to lose. In any case, Dr. Oz has now come under severe fire. Not a biblical prophet, but a candidate for Pennsylvania. Why? Well, because he was asked about the number of houses that he owns, and he was off. So here was Dr. Oz. But the real campaign issue in Pennsylvania.
Look at how dishonest that framing is. He was asked about the number of houses that he owns, and he was off. No, Ben, that's not what happened. There's a word we use for what Dr. Oz did. What is it again? Lie. He lied. He lied. He said, this was his answer. Legitimately, he was asked how many houses he has, and he starts the answer by saying, legitimately, that's how you know he's going to bullshit you. Legitimately, 2. I have 2. He has 10. 10. Now, he was doing that to try to appear more relatable, thinking that this random voter wasn't going to post the video, it wasn't going to go viral, this wasn't going to be fact-checked. He lied. He lied, Ben. And if this was a Democratic politician in the exact same set of facts, Ben Shapiro would be leading the charge saying, this motherfucker lied. And you know what? If it was a Democratic politician and Ben Shapiro did say those things, I would come out and say, well, Ben's right. That was a lie. Person's wrong. 100%. Why are they lying? They're lying to try to appear more relatable. But when it's a Republican, whatever, bro. I mean, he was off, bro, about the number of houses. He forgot or something, bro. That's what it is. He forgot. He forgot about all of his houses and whatnot. Come on, everybody knows this is dishonest. Doesn't get any more dishonest than this. Now, again, if he lying in and of itself, that's bad and he shouldn't do that. But if he had 10 houses and he was like, yeah, I want to raise my taxes. Yeah, I want to give everybody health care. Yeah, I want to raise the minimum wage. Yeah, I want to make unions strong again. Then it'd be like, okay, I don't care if you have 10 houses, based. But that's not him. That's not him at all. So, anyway, you guys get the gist of it. Ben Shapiro saying and doing Ben Shapiro things at a time when virtually everybody under the sun is like, man, this Oz guy's an embarrassment. Donald Trump behind the scenes is like, this guy's going to fucking lose. Trump is turning on Oz. The Republican establishment, there's whispers of shit, we got to cut off any sort of support to Oz because he's a lost cause. He's down like 18 points in the most recent poll. Now, that's an outlier poll. He's down like 10 overall in the average of polls. But even Tucker Carlson was like, man, this guy's a bad candidate. But Ben Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, he's out there, bro, yeah, Oz is wealthy. So we're like biblical prophets and stuff, bro, and he's wealthy, but that means he's not even going to be corrupt or anything, bro. Okay, he was off about the number of houses, but I mean, whom amongst us hasn't made that mistake, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Ben, for the love of God, please stop. Please stop. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.